Session 63, The Shattered Bell of Mournvale. Told by Dar the Sellsword at the Last Lantern Tavern. 3 nights ago, I was hired by a band of adventurers who'd taken a job from a grave man named Brask Ulfin, called himself a surveyor of the Northern Lines. Type that smells like cold stone and incense. Said a bell had cracked in some forgotten place called Mournvale, and now the dead didn't know whether to lie down or stand up. Pay was fair. I followed worse men for less silver. Ashard and Roland, both half-elves with the steady eyes of men who've seen too much already, led the group. Maxim, a broad-shouldered orc built like a siege ram, rounded out their strength. That we raised our cups, took the parchment from the quest board, and by dawn were on the road north. The journey took 3 days through fog and thinning woods. On the second morning, we came upon a toppled gravestone, half sunk into the earth beside the path. Looked ordinary enough until Roland decided to dig around it. Gods know why. That's when the ground split open, and 3 ghouls clawed their way out of the dirt like rats from a cellar. We cut them down quick, but not before they got their claws in deep. The stone itself had a piece of something wedged beneath it, a curved sliver of silver, humming faintly. Brask's bell, no doubt. We took it and pressed on. By the next dusk, we reached Mournvale Cemetery. Mist rolled between the leaning markers like breath over old bones. We weren't alone. 4 grave robbers were digging through coffins near the gate. They froze when they saw us, cursed under their breath and bolted, carrying their stolen treasure with them. The graves looked disturbed, some yawning open, others clawed from within. We found more shards of that same silver bell scattered through the dirt, and a heavy iron clapper lying in a sunken cryptyard. Later, among wandering skeletons, more lost than hostile, we found the ring of the bell half buried in mud. The bones didn't bother us, and we didn't bother them. We looped a rope around the ring and hauled it out slow, never giving the dead a reason to stir. Sometimes wisdom is keeping your sword sheathed. Then came the crypt. Cold air, the scent of wax and time. As soon as we stepped inside, the candles along the walls lit themselves one by one. Blue flame, ghostlight. A book sat on a stone lectern in the center of the chamber. Heavy black, no title. Roland reached for it, and the moment his fingers brushed the page, a drop of ink fell from nowhere, splattering across the parchment. Then, clear as truth, it spelled out his name. Didn't take long for the air to freeze and the shadows to rise. The specter that came from that book wasn't just a ghost, it was fury given form. Screaming ink and iron. I don't scare easy, but that thing chilled me to the marrow. We fought in the flickering blue light, blades passing through mist, every strike screaming like a tolling bell. When Roland struck it with radiant magic, it shrieked a single name, one none of us understood, and then burst apart into silver motes that sank back into the pages. The book shut itself after that, like it had seen enough. We climbed down into the lower levels using rope. The stairs had long since crumbled. The first landing held rows of coffins, old, empty, harmless. The second, though, that's where things went wrong. A switch released a hidden staircase beneath us, leading into a sealed vault. Down there we found 2 coffins, one gilded, one plain. The plain one's lid was half open, a body hanging halfway out, pale, drained, and still. The scent of death was thick enough to taste. Roland went closer, careful, and the corpse toppled forward. The lid slid slowly aside and fell to the floor with a dull crash. That's when she climbed out. A vampire spawn, eyes red as spilled wine, smile full of hunger. She'd been feasting on that body until we arrived. Before I could swing, she was on me. Her hand clamped around my throat, lifted me like I weighed nothing. Maxim lunged to help, but she caught him too, both of us dangling like meat in a butcher's stall. Her fangs tore through flesh and fire filled my veins. I remember her eyes rolling back as she drank, whispering she'd save the others for later. "Let the blood breathe," she said. The others fought like demons. Roland's spells cracked the air. Ashard's blade howled against her. I don't know how long it lasted. Long enough for me to think I was done. But in the end, she burned away into dust, her laughter fading with the ash. We looted the coffins, found a mace etched in holy runes, a few trinkets, and a cloak of protection that I took for my trouble. It fit well, and after that fight, I earned it. We pressed on to the final chamber. The air grew heavy, the ground thrummed with the hum of the bell. There it was, suspended midair, glowing faintly, the pieces drifting together as if something unseen pulled them into place. The clapper had become a thing of bone and metal, twisted by foul magic. Around it shuffled the dead, 3 zombies working mindlessly to mend the bell, a wolf of rotten sinew pacing nearby, and a white overseeing it all. The white spoke, said if the bell rang thrice, every corpse in the northern lines would wake and wander free. His voice was like iron dragged across stone. We told him no such freedom would come today. The battle was chaos, radiant flashes, cold screams, the scent of earth and old death. The white cursed us and fled into shadow, vowing to ring the bell again when the silence grows loud. I've no doubt he meant it. When the last undead fell, we pieced the bell together and replaced its clapper. The true one, not that twisted mockery. Then we rang it once, just once. The sound rolled through the crypt like a tide. The corpses around us stilled. Some smiled, others simply fell, their bodies finally accepting what their souls already knew. The light faded, and for the first time since we arrived, Mournvale was quiet. We brought the book and the fragments back to Brask Ulfin. He paid what was promised and recorded the adventurers' names among the honored caretakers. I took my cloak, my pay, and my silence. Still, sometimes when the wind moves through the Greywood Crossing, I swear I hear a single bell toll, soft, distant, and done. End of Session 63 Quest. The Shattered Bell of Mournvale, Standard Difficulty Tier 1. Result, bell restored, undead laid to rest. Dar received a cloak of protection.